All right, we got a Goodman. Well, he's not a bad man. It's probably a 5-ton system. Let's see what I can see here. Make sure it's not poison ivy. Nah, looks like we're good. You never know what you run across. Let's see what we got here. We have a 48. See that model number? It's 48,000 BTUs. All right, let's go to the thermostat. It's okay.
He's dramatic. He really wants to
Alright,
get out, but I want to wait until we figure out.
Until unit is running. It is discharging more than ambient temperature air here. Oh look, it's a Milwaukee moving dolly. But there are landmines everywhere here. My God. All right, let's get the tools, get the knee pad, and let's see what's going on here. All right, I'm going to be using the JB Climate Class Smart Probes to check the refrigerant pressures. We were here a few months ago and did a repair or maintenance. I don't know what we did, but we're here again. Got those brass service port caps. Let's see if I can get that on there without having to... Yeah, I'll get it on there. Sweet. I'm not gonna lie, that hurt. Ow. So much of those low-loss fittings on there. Let me just give it a little extra on there because I think it's... There we go. Oof, high side pressure is awfully high. Let's hook up our low pressure probe. Look at the cheap stuff. It's already cracking and breaking. Okay. And let's get our temperature clamps on there. Low side and our high side. All right, let that sit for a minute, see what's doing. So taking a look at these numbers, we have 126 on our low, 303 on our high. We have 0 superheat right now, and knowing that this place, you know, that is dog urine. Knowing this place is a dog grooming salon or studio, and seeing the condition of the coil, we definitely have a flooded condensing coil here. Absolutely. No. What did I just say? No, we have a flooded evaporator coil. Low superheat, not normally seen as a singular symptom. Usually occurs when the evaporator coil is flooded as a result of low airflow or refrigerant overcharge. But if you take a look at our condensing coil in more closer detail here, we're kind of dirty here. Now let's look on the other side if I can get in there. Move this out of the way. Holy see? You're welcome, folks. Keeping it family friendly. We got to find a water source here, and we got to try to clean this coil. This is horrible. All right, to clean this coil, I'm going to use the Nu-Brite by Nu Calgon. Now, I know that there's already some bad stuff going on with that coil with the dog urinating on it, but I need to really clean this coil. Those pressures are way too high to be messing around. The coil can handle it, in my opinion. I got a hose already inside. Let's go. I'm removing the condenser fan motor shroud assembly from the top of the unit. If there's one system I hate taken apart. It's the Goodman. This top is like next to impossible to put back on. Using a 5/16 driver on my Milwaukee M12 impact driver. And I have a hose nearby, so let's get the show on the road. All right, I'm gonna give it a quick rinse with the water just to break up some of the dirt on there. Now, I did check the service record, and in May, early May, we were here and we also did this, but we didn't use a chemical. We just rinsed the coil with water. And maybe it's because of all the dogs and the environment, but you saw that dirt. And I could tell you this, that we absolutely cleaned this coil to the best of our ability. And I know that for a fact because I saw before and after pictures on our CRM called House Call Pro. And plus, my lead and senior technician was here, Daniel, who's got his own YouTube channel and is quite proud of all the work that he does. And we don't bamboozle our customers. You take that to the bank. Coil gun onto A. We're going to saturate this coil with the chemical. You got to move quick. We're going to go through A. We're going to go through half of this container real quick. But folks, this is the right way of cleaning the coil. There's no other way of doing this. You want to mess around and try doing it from the outside in, you're going to sadly be mistaken by not doing the right job. Airflow moves from the outside in. Don't forget that, folks. All right, the chemical has been working its way on this coil for quite some time already. I'm going to rinse out my container, make sure that it's going to be good for use the next time I need it. If you don't thoroughly rinse out the foam gun container and the foam gun by running water through it, next time you use it, it is not going to be functional. Now, I say this over and over and over again in all my videos. Every time I'm doing a coil cleaning with a chemical, it is especially important if you're using the new Calgon Nu-Brite that you must thoroughly rinse it out. All right, it's time to rinse. Uh-oh, what happened to my water? What the hell's going on with my water? Don't even ask, I have no idea. Don't even ask, I have no idea. I want to get a little closer to here so you can see. All right. We're going to thoroughly rinse this coil. Should take about 20 minutes. Damn. It's unbelievable how this was literally just cleaned. Literally just cleaned about 2.5 months ago. Crazy. All right, I've thoroughly rinsed all the chemical off the coil. Before I put the cover back on, I'm going to make note of my capacitor size for the compressor. See if I can see that in there. Let's see, 45,370. All right, and then also let's check out our condenser fan motor if we can. I can hardly read it, but I'll take a picture of that and reference it. All right, I decided to spare you guys all the drama on getting the condenser fan motor shroud assembly back on top of the unit. You know it's not easy, folks. You know it's not easy. And in the process, I also lost a screw. All the other screws are in though. Compressor is a 45, fan is a 5. Let's fire this up and we're gonna dynamically test the dual capacitor, making sure it's within range while the system is running. So stick around, folks. Alright, system's been running for a little bit. 126 and 270 are low in our eyesight pressures. A little over 5 degrees of superheat and barely just 1 degree of subcooling. Now, I did check up in the loft above the store. I didn't see a TXV, so we definitely have a fixed metering device there, an orifice. So we're going to be relying on superheat. And we are a little low slightly. We do have good airflow coming out of the diffusers. Our filter's clean and our fan motor's also good. We'll let this sit for a little bit longer. This is the HVAC School Vortex Bitex app. It's available in the App Store and the Google Play Store. We're going to go to the underload capacitor test. And first thing we're going to do is look at the picture if you don't know what you're doing. We're going to take a measurement of the voltage across the contactor. Sorry, of the voltage across the capacitor. So we're going to take one lead to our common, one lead to our HERM, and we're going to enter in that voltage right there. There's our voltmeter right there. All right, carefully, we're going to have one lead right there, one lead right there, and we have 320. Okay, let's put those numbers in, 320. We're going to take the amperage reading, take our clamp-on multimeter, set that to amperage, clip it onto that yellow wire. We're getting 5.1 amps. Let's type that in, 5.1, and this should be a 45. And we get, this capacitor is 5 to 10% low, which would generally be considered acceptable, but may vary by company. All right, we're should be reading 45. We're getting 42.28. Let's check our voltage readings one more time. Put that right there somewhere. Let's see if I can put this somewhere I can read it easily. Right there. Let's take one there, another one there. 320.3. So let's type that in there. Back 320.3. 5.1. It's still considered low. We're reading 42.24, but that's not going to be the problem while we're here. Let's now check our condenser fan motor. Let's get a voltage of that between common and there. We are getting 329.6. 329.6. Let's get an amperage reading on that brown wire. We're getting 0.6, and this should be a 5. All right, so the two capacitors within range. Could I replace it? Listen, I could. I don't think it's warranted right now. We're at 42 and change, and it should be 45. It's not terribly rough. If it was, 40, 41, yeah, then maybe I'll consider it, but it's still good. So all the people sitting in their parents' basement call me a rip-off artist. We don't know me, bro. All right, time for some temperature readings. 80-degree return, 1-degree return. All right, one of the diffusers, almost 61.5 degrees here. Almost a 19-degree delta T. Damn. 25 degrees. Damn. 64. System's freezing up now. Just as I was taking off my temperature probes, I noticed it's starting to freeze up, and I ran inside to check for airflow. We don't got any. Let's see what's going on. This is insane. So, what do we got going on here? Plenty of wires exposed. Look at this shit. Dog hair and everything. Right now it's blowing. Let me turn that out till we get it back on. All right, let me try to carefully take you guys up here. I pulled the wiring. I literally can't even get up in here. I pulled the wire off of the wire. I put the wires off of the fan capacitor. Okay. Let's see if we can get a reading. I literally can't get in here. Like, I can't even begin to tell you what the hell's going on right now. Let's see. I want to test this capacitor. I have no idea what size it is, but it's reading. What the hell is it reading? 17.5. That one's reading 17.6. I can't get up here. I can't. This wall's in the way, and there's a wall there, and the gas piping's right in the way. Like, you can't get in there. They stuffed it in there with some midgets. And how the hell they stood up here, I have no idea. Alright, let me see if I can get some alligator clips on my leads and test for voltage going to the fan motor. Holy shit. Can't mix this stuff up. My God. Oh my God. Look at this. Literally just exposed wiring just sitting there. No idea if it's good or bad or indifferent. There's no way to get in here. Capacitor. Right there. Is there a switch? Sure ain't. My God. This is insane. Oh, it just went out. See that? Just went out before my very own eyes. Wow. Unbelievable. Crazy. All right. Hopefully this works. There's our condenser. We got nothing going to of course, now it comes on. Of course, now it's running. And I just can't get past the gas piping. And there's too many exposed wires like this one and all that stuff right there. There's dog hair and everything. This is a fire hazard. They need to clean this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Finished up that service call after explaining to the client, and I really had no idea how this was going to work out, but explaining to the client how A, we have a fire hazard with all that hair and all that debris, accessibility issue, gas piping right in front of the only access to the furnace, no service switch on the equipment, and all of the electrical wiring that's in the immediate vicinity all being exposed. We had, as you saw, wiring with no wire nuts on them in live junction boxes. It was a shit show. Sorry, there's no other way of calling that. And I had no idea how this was going to play out with the property, the landlord, with the client. But he goes, "What would you do if this was your space?" And I said, "This is my space, and I need service, maintenance, and accessibility for the contractor. We're going to put the furnace on the ground floor. We're going to set it on a platform. We're going to have a great filtration system in there, and we're going to connect it to the existing ductwork after all the ductwork's sanitized." That's what I would do. And he goes, "Okay, let's do it." I didn't see that one coming. I'm kidding you. I did not see that one coming at all. Totally got me caught off guard. And they're right now they're using a portable AC unit, to still conduct business. It's obviously a dog grooming place, but yeah, so we're going to replace the furnace, evaporator coil, outdoor unit, line set, venting to the roof. Hopefully I'll get them an 80% furnace, hopefully. And yeah, get the job done. But for now, you know, they have some cooling. It's not going to be like 72 degrees in there, but they have a 15,000 BTU portable AC unit there. It is what it is. So I think I did good. Let me get your thoughts and feedback in the comments section down below. What would you guys do differently? Catch you in the next one. Be well. God bless. Stay safe.